I woke up in darkness. A cold, clammy darkness that enveloped me like a shroud. My senses slowly started to come back to me. I felt a hard, metal surface underneath me, and the unmistakable smell of formaldehyde filled my nostrils. My heart was pounding in my chest, and I tried to scream, but my mouth was dry, and my voice was weak. Panic set in as I realized where I was. I was in a morgue. How did I get here? The last thing I remember was being hit by a car. I was walking home from work when I heard the screech of tires and everything went black. I must have been pronounced dead, but now I was awake and I couldn't move. I tried to lift my arms, but they felt heavy, like they were made of lead. I tried to sit up, but my body wouldn't respond. Fear took hold of me as I realized I was trapped in my own body. The silence of the morgue was deafening. The only sound I could hear was the beating of my own heart. I started to feel a sense of dread, as if something was watching me. The fear inside me grew stronger as I realized that I wasn't alone. I could hear the sound of footsteps echoing through the hallways. It sounded like someone was walking towards me. The door to the morgue opened slowly, and a figure stepped inside. The person was wearing a lab coat and a surgical mask. They approached my table and stood over me. I tried to speak, but my voice was still weak. The figure didn't say anything, but I could feel their eyes on me. They reached out and grabbed my arm. The touch was cold and sent shivers down my spine. The figure leaned in close, and I could feel their breath on my face. I could see the outline of their eyes through the mask, and they seemed to be studying me. The fear inside me was overwhelming, and I wanted to run, but I couldn't move. The figure leaned even closer, and I could feel their lips brush against my ear.
"I know you're not dead,"
the figure whispered.
"I'm going to fix that."
The figure stepped back, and I could hear them moving around the room. I tried to move again, but it was no use. I was trapped, helpless, and alone. I could hear the sound of metal tools clanking together, and the smell of antiseptic filled the air. Suddenly, the figure reappeared, holding a long, sharp scalpel in their hand. They walked towards me, and I could feel the fear inside me turn into pure terror. The figure lifted the scalpel and brought it down towards my chest. I woke up screaming. I was in a hospital bed, surrounded by doctors and nurses. They told me that I'd been in a coma for weeks, and that I had suffered severe injuries from the car accident. The terror of the morgue still clung to me, and I could feel my heart racing. But I was alive, and that was all that mattered. Years have passed since that fateful night, but the fear of the morgue still haunts me. I don't know if what I experienced was real or just a nightmare, but the thought of waking up in a morgue, unable to move, is a fear that I will never forget.